So, if you look to my left here, you'll notice a Switch 2, and that is not my Switch 2. That is a Switch 2 I purchased from Best Buy mere moments ago because I will be gifting this to my sister who lives in Pittsburgh, which, by the way, Connor, I'll be in Pittsburgh this weekend, so I'll probably try and
let's grab a burger.
see you at some point. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. My sister has a Switch. She plays it a lot. And I just figured it'd be nice to get her and her husband a Switch too. There's no real reason for it. So, but I wanted to get one. So there it is.
I'm just not that guy. I'll say it. I am not the spend $400 on my siblings guy.
Yeah, that's fair. I will be treating this as a birthday, very, very early birthday gift. So when her birthday rolls around, I will not be doing anything at all. So
okay, well, in that case, it's still a little more than I would typically spend, unless it was like I thought I had like a killer idea. Like my brother he wants an analog pocket, I think, and I
generally agree with you that I normally wouldn't spend this much amount of money on a gift, even for like family.
Yeah.
But when it comes to video games, I'm a lot more
because you're getting something out of it, right?
I'm just more willing to. Well, I'm not sure what I'm getting out of it, but I just love to spread the love of video games, right?
Right. That's
like
I guess that's what I feel like you're getting out of it. Like, now I can talk to my sister about Mario Kart, or we can play Mario Kart together,
or whatever. Yeah. But like when it comes to video games, I've noticed I've done stuff like this before, where like I remember one of my friends was just like, I don't know, I just buy games for people. I don't usually buy systems for people, but like, she's my sister. So.
I thought about going in with either my dad or my sister to get my brother a Switch 2 for Christmas because I know he wants one, but he's in a master's program right now. And I a little bit like, if I bought him this and it sat and collected dust, I would be a little mad. And
I thought you were going the other direction with that, where like if you bought him this and then he like flunked his masters.
Both, yeah. Either of those things would be disastrous, right? Like,
yeah.
So I did not do that. I bought it. Also my family are list people, which I am not a list person. I do not like making a Christmas list.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't do that.
I don't even particularly enjoy getting gifts off of a list. I'm not a stuff guy, so I find the act of making a list agonizing. And I also I don't know, like you hand me your list, I hand you my list, and we're like, okay, well, this is just a complicated way for me to go out and buy the things that I wanted in the first place.
And to clarify, right, so my sister had mentioned wanting to borrow my Switch 2 to play, I think, Persona 3 Reload. I was just like, okay, I was like, I'm already planning to come to Pittsburgh this weekend. I'll just bring it and let you borrow it. And that was the original plan. But kind of today on a whim, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to get her a Switch 2. So that's what I did. She doesn't know that I did that. She'll probably be a little upset.
She'll find out when she hears this episode.
Right. Yeah, because she for sure will hear this episode.
Devout listener, I'm sure.
But yeah, she'll definitely be a little angry at first, but I'm sure she'll quickly get over it and be happy.
Angry?
Well, like, why did you do this when I could just borrow your Switch? And I was just like, but, whatever. Here's your Switch.
Whatever, man.
Deal with it. Yeah. So
that was nice.
So just a fun little anecdote there, and I will be probably seeing you this weekend, Connor. I would like to at least stop by and say hi. Like I'm mostly there to visit my sister and brother-in-law, but
you're
there too. So
yeah, I'm busy Saturday, but we'll figure something out.
Well, that's good because I'll probably be busy Saturday with them, so maybe Friday or something.
Yeah.
Hey, and welcome back to Game Talk. I'm your host, Am and Beyond. Today I'm joined by Connor.
Hey.
Once again, no Mike this week, but you'll be seeing him very soon, I promise. And today we've got a lot to talk about. A lot of really big news that I think we both care about dropped in the last week or so. Some negative, some positive. Maybe you could look at it that way. Maybe it's all negative. I don't know.
I think it's all pretty bad. Like, well, bad to neutral. I certainly don't think any of this is positive.
Yeah. Bad to neutral is a good way to put it. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. But let's start with the bad news. So, Sony, PlayStation, has closed Bluepoint Studios. So for those who don't know, let me just get you up to speed. Bluepoint was their kind of de facto remake studio. They were responsible for, I think, incredible games like the Shadow of Colossus remake and even more notably the Demon's Souls remake, which was, I would argue, one of the prime launch games on PS5. Like that was a straight up system seller on PS5.
I mean, even calling it I would say it was the system seller when the PS5 was new.
Yeah.
It was that and Returnal, right? Pretty much.
Was Returnal a launch game? I don't think it was. I don't believe.
Returnal was 2019, wasn't it?
No, this is all wrong.
It was early. It was definitely very early in the PS5 life cycle. Anyway,
it was early in the PS5. Returnal was 2021.
Okay.
PS5 came out in 2020.
Oh, well, I was way off.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Yeah. When you don't buy consoles, this all just becomes very nebulous to you.
And plus, like, that whole era is just one big blob anyway.
Yeah, something happened that made it.
Yeah, something happened. But Bluepoint getting shut down by Sony.
This is a disastrous decision.
I think there's a lot to talk about. But I particularly wanted to talk about this because this was the first one of these that genuinely made me angry.
Yeah.
Like furious. Like obviously I've cooled down a lot since like the day I heard the news. But it felt like a slap in the face, honestly, as like a long-term like hardcore PlayStation fan. Because if you look at their history of closing studios, and like it's been, people have compiled really great lists, right? Post 2020, they've acquired so many studios: Nixxes, Firesprite, Bluepoint, Valkyrie, Haven, Bungie, Firewalk, right? Like all these studios. Not one has turned out a notable project, right? And a lot of them have been closed, and a lot of them were working on live service games. And I think that gets the crux to why I'm so angry about this, is that previously they closed studios, and it was just like, okay, it sucks that you closed the studio, but I get it, right? Firewalk was working on Concord. That comes out, is a complete bomb, utter disaster, right? Like we all saw that coming, but like the writing was on the wall for those studios. They were done, right? That was their first game. They put all their eggs in the live service basket. It didn't work out. They're done, right? But I believe this is the first one of these where this is a casualty of feeding the live service machine, and you're sacrificing one of your, what should be a non-live service developer to do it. Now, it has come out that Bluepoint was working on a God of War live service game.
One of the worst ideas I've ever heard.
Canceled by Sony. So yeah, let's talk about that for a second, right? So it is said that Bluepoint themselves pitched this game to Sony, but I do not for one single second believe that there was no influence from the top brass in them making this decision.
Yeah.
I do not believe that for a second.
If nothing else, there's just the ambient pressure in the room, which is that Sony is looking for that live. Like, there's no studio at Sony that could possibly not be feeling the live service pressure right now, even if they're not directly receiving it.
Right. Like, it's one of those cases where, like, oh, you have the freedom to make whatever you like, but as your boss, it would be really cool to make a live service game, right?
Right.
Like, I'm sure that was the sort of vibe going around all of PlayStation Studios. And plus Bluepoint provided development support on God of War Ragnarok, so I guess they thought God of War live service would be a good fit. But let me ask you that. Who is this game for? Is it for the God of War fans? The God of War fans couldn't care less about a live service game, me included. I would not touch that game.
No, I wouldn't.
Is it for live service fans? It sure as hell isn't Fortnite.
I don't think there is a live service fan. There's people
I know,
who
like,
have
but
been
is
caught
it
by
for
one.
people who?
Yeah. No, I just don't think there's an audience for it.
Let me put it this way: the last time there was like a melee-focused live service game, can you name one?
Rumbleverse,
and look at what happened to Rumbleverse.
It was one of the greatest games I've ever played.
It was one of the greatest games ever, but like people have bad taste, so it died.
Yeah.
But the point being is that if it's not a shooter of some sort, right, whether it's a third-person extraction shooter, a first-person shooter like Apex, whatever, chances are it's not going to succeed.
That depends on whether or not you include Monster Hunter as a live service, which I lean no, but I see the argument that it is one.
I see the argument. I also lean no, because I feel like, I mean, is there a battle pass in Monster Hunter Wilds?
There's a season pass that comes with a bunch of cosmetic DLC, but no, there's no like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think it has to have a very intentional monetization model to be considered a live service game, in my opinion.
I can see that. Yeah,
that's up for debate.
But I think the Monster Hunter formula proves that it could work as a melee based game.
Okay, it could work, but look at what we're talking about here. Your odds of making a successful live service game, even if it's a shooter, are already slim to none. Now narrow that even further into a genre that historically people have not shown interest in, and dude, it's like David versus Goliath here.
It also
you're
is just
setting
like,
yourself up for failure.
Who would be the protagonist of this game? Would it be Kratos? Like, and if it's not Kratos, then who cares?
That's the other thing too. I hope current Sony realizes that people play God of War for Kratos, right?
Yeah, there's nothing else
Atreus
to
is
it.
cool.
Yeah.
It was cool playing as Atreus in God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But you better believe if God of War 3 stars Atreus and there's no Kratos, there's going to be a problem there. Like, Kratos is the face of God of War.
I would still probably play. Well, after Ragnarok, I would wait for. Well, I'll have to wait for reviews. I don't have a choice. I'm on PC, but
yeah. But all that being said, right? Like, 9 out of 10 people in any room could have told you a God of War service game was a bad idea. And as the head of PlayStation Studios, right? Herman Hulst is now the CEO of PlayStation, right? But he gets the final say on these games. It is his responsibility to be like, to kill these ideas early in their genesis so companies can work on what they are good at, right? Like, so if it is true, like either way, right, he's to blame. If it is true that pressure from the top influenced Bluepoint to pitch a God of War live service game, then he is at fault. If it is true that they completely independently pitched a live service game and he didn't do his job by saying, no, work on this remake or whatever, then he's also not doing his job, right? The buck has to stop with someone, right? And it's Herman Hulst. And I'm going to be frank, I'm totally sick of this guy. I feel like he has completely ruined PlayStation as a brand. He's taking them into a direction that I really, really, really dislike.
I mean, the PS5, I think, is beyond any opportunity for redemption the worst PlayStation right now. Like, by the games. Easily. Like, if you're not counting third parties, because third parties are killing it this gen,
but
in my opinion.
That's the frustrating thing about this, is that Sony's snowballed success into PS5 and continued success has given them so much rope to where they can just torch basically the studios that built them, because the third-party revenue is so high, they're breaking records left and right. That is the frustrating thing. And if you look at the charts, and I think I shared one in the Discord the other day, the percentage of revenue PlayStation gets from first party is like non-existent, right? Yeah. Which is incredibly frustrating as someone who loves the PlayStation first party games, right? And because it is non-existent, they're free to do stuff like this and not feel any consequence. Most of their money is being made by Fortnite being on PlayStation, by Call of Duty being on PlayStation. They get a 30% cut of everything on PlayStation. And because PlayStation is basically the de facto console now, they're making money hand over fist. And now they're playing fast and loose with their precious first parties, right? I would argue that, yes, you're not feeling the blow now, but if you completely torch your first parties, then what is the reason, right, for PlayStation to exist at all?
It's still better than an Xbox.
At that point, yeah, it's an Xbox. At that point, just play on PC, right? Like you are gambling with the lifeblood of PlayStation right now, and it's very frustrating to see.
I know you're not in this position. You have like that love for the PlayStation, but I think for 99 is way too high. Maybe 70% of PlayStation players, they bought the PlayStation because it was $400 or $500, and they would have been just as happy with
it played
PC.
Call of Duty and it played Fortnite and everything, right? And Madden.
And there's just the $400 PC is just, it exists, but it's complicated.
Right, like that's still the greatest value proposition. Is just a box you turn on, you play a game, right?
And you're not going to buy an Xbox because Xbox's brand is irredeemable at this point.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah. But I think it's important to look at another case study in this remake studio, because you could see what Nintendo did with Mercury Stream, I can't remember, but they they wanted to try out the studio. They gave them a remake. They did Samus Returns on the 3DS. It was excellent. I don't think it was a replacement level remake for Metroid 2. I actually kind of prefer the original tonally, but great game nonetheless. I really enjoyed it. And then they come back with Nintendo's full backing and blessing, and they do Metroid Dread, and it is a Super Metroid tier entry into the franchise. It is immaculate. And I think Bluepoint was capable of that.
I think, and like you do hear, right, Bluepoint was interested in making a fresh game.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I would too. Imagine you're in the remake minds for as long as they were. Because I think they did the Uncharted remasters too, didn't they?
They did Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection,
yeah,
which is the collection of all 3 games on PS4.
Yeah, so they've been at this a bit.
Wonderful collection, by the way.
Yeah.
Definitive way to play the original Uncharted trilogy. They did Gravity Rush Remastered. They did a Metal Gear Solid HD collection. They did a God of War collection even before that of the original trilogy. And then obviously Shadow of the Colossus, Demon's Souls is what they were. That's when like they got into remake territory. They were the remaster guys.
Yeah.
Before Nixus came into the picture. And then with Shadow of the Colossus and Demon's Souls, they made like really, really high quality remakes. And now, right, like they wanted to do their own thing, but that's my whole thing, right? Like, if you want to do your own thing, the experience you had remaking Demon's Souls, remaking Shadow of the Colossus, and also working on God of War Ragnarok, you were primed to make a third-person action-adventure melee game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you were primed to do that. And maybe they were applying a lot of that knowledge into the live service arena, but like, that's like 1/4 of the equation if you go to live service, right? You have to figure out so much other stuff that studio was not equipped for, right? Having never worked on a multiplayer game, never worked on a live service game, that is a lot.
I'll push back a little. I know nobody thinks of it this way, but Demon's Souls is a multiplayer game.
That's fair. Okay.
I know nobody thinks of it that way, but like from the technical side, Demon's Souls multiplayer is actually, you have to do it.
You have to think about that. Yes.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
So they had the skills, the networking expertise. But
they had the networking expertise, but even that is not expertise for live service.
Right. It's not
expertise for live service is a whole other beast, right? Like, that demands a lot of like business acumen too, coming up with a solid monetization plan that's sustainable and released. Like, it's a whole other thing. But they were attempting it, right?
Yeah.
And as we've seen over and over again at PlayStation, it did not work out, right? So this project was canceled. Bluepoint was trying to pitch their next project. Sony wasn't hearing it, and then they ultimately closed them down. And that's the frustrating thing. Like, okay, shut down the God of War live service game. There's so many easy wins with Bluepoint, all right? Like, even if their next game is another remake, okay, it's like, okay, the God of War thing didn't work out. Let's just put you on another remake while we plan for another game in the future. There were so many options, so many things Bluepoint could have been remaking. Among them, obviously, is Bloodborne, and obviously they got to get Miyazaki's blessing.
I feel like that was the hang-up there.
To. That's the other thing.
They don't have to?
Like, they own the IP. They own Bloodborne. They're just being courteous.
They don't want to burn that bridge, though.
They don't exactly. They don't want to burn that bridge. But that's what I'm arguing is like they could have, right?
They could have.
Not that they should have.
There's another step to this, which is that apparently the God of War live service game was canceled a year ago, and they were not able to come up with another project for a year. No, here's the thing. So what happened was they pitched 2 other projects to Sony that were shot down. Yeah.
And 2 of them, and they were remakes.
They were remakes. Right? Oh, okay, that's weird that they shot those down instead of... It's weird that they let them spin their wheels, because... So I have sitting on the shelf behind me, you can't see it, it's just out of frame, but the Game Dev Business Handbook. And one of the things that I found shocking in the Game Dev Business Handbook is when you are running a business, you need to have your next 3 games planned, like, while you're working. So, like...
Right, because, like, there's... small percentage of people working on what's in the far future.
So
right?
It's weird to me that God of War live service gets canceled and they don't hit the ground running, or at least have It's weird that like they hadn't already done these pitches to Sony and been like, "Hey, for our next project, let's." I think that's a weird. Like, there's no way for us to possibly understand what's happening behind the scenes on this, unless Jason Schreier gets a hold of some people and talks to him,
which he might.
Which he might. So it's just a weird situation to me that it's just 2 failed pitches, because that does pretty much give you a year where you have a 70 or so people spinning their wheels. They're not.
Yeah. And obviously, you can't do that, right? Like, we don't know the story there, but that's obviously no good.
Now, I assume these pitches probably had demos. They probably, when you do a pitch like this, you usually have an MVP or something that you're showing. So they weren't not working, I imagine, for most of that. But it's a confusing situation.
I don't think it's fair to. Some percentage of blame probably lies with Bluepoint too.
Right, with their leadership, yeah.
I fully believe that this is mostly a case of Sony mismanagement once again.
I mean, any way you slice it, you're right. Herman Hulst could have said no 5 years ago, and this whole thing is avoided. Bluepoint has released 2 excellent remasters in the past 5 years at that,
Yeah, they could have been Bloodborne. It could have been all sorts of things, right?
Doubled the PS5 exclusive count for this generation.
I could have, I keep saying Bloodborne because obviously that's what I want. That's what most people want. But there are so many, dude. There's so many options. They could have been working on any one of dozens.
Port the Nathan Drake collection to PC, for the love of God.
That's still not on PC.
Yeah, we have Uncharted.
That's probably a Nixus project though.
Yeah, but it could have been there's nothing. Bluepoint could have done it.
Bluepoint could have done it.
There's no reason to believe they couldn't.
You know what else is really frustrating to me? Sony just announced a God of War trilogy remake being made by Sony Santa Monica.
Yeah, which is
Bluepoint on that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. I kind of agree, because Sony Santa Monica could be making something new. But granted, I get the drive at Bluepoint to make something new. I get the desire, although apparently they pitched 2 remakes anyway. But I get the drive. Like I would not have a problem as a new game developer making remakes, but once you're at it for 10 years, bro, let me stretch the muscles.
Yeah, I get it, right? Like, but on the heels of this, you were working on this live service game for over like half a decade. Yeah. It didn't work out, right? Like, at that point, I think your next project should be a little conservative.
Bring in some revenue.
Yeah, to like prove that, okay, we still got chops. And they do have chops.
They do.
They're the best to do it.
Yeah.
Like Demon Souls remake and Shadow of the Colossus remake are the best remakes out there. I can't think of a single remake that Resident Evil. Okay, Resident Evil. Okay.
Yeah, but no, you're not wrong.
They're up there.
They're excellent.
But that's the level Bluepoint was at. They were at the level of Resident Evil 2 and 4 remake.
I would actually say probably better. Like, because I could sit here and complain about some technical nitpicks with Resident Evil 2 and 4, and I will be later. So, and I don't think you have any nitpicks from a technical perspective about Demon Souls.
Demon Souls is still probably the best looking game on PS5.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. Running, flawless frame rate, and it just looks incredible. Yeah, man, it looks incredible. What a shame! What a shame, dude. And there's only so much as a fan of PlayStation that I'm willing to tolerate here, right? Like, if they're willing to do this to Bluepoint, Media Molecule on life support, as far as I'm concerned. Right?
God, like, are they even still around? I mean,
they're around. Yeah, they're working on something. Hopefully,
God.
But like,
I wanted Dreams to be Dreams. If it hadn't been fumbled so catastrophically, I feel like Dreams could have been the live service.
Dreams had the potential to be a huge thing.
Yeah,
I just think
it took
a different. Playing your cards differently for Dreams would have resulted in a different result, I think.
It's a Roblox level game to me.
Yeah, it could have been that for PlayStation. It could have been that. But
it's not.
It's not. No. So like at the end of the day, right? Like you look at Bluepoint, you look at Fire Sprite, who had layoffs in 2024. I think they did Call of the Mountain. They were acquired in 2021. Bluepoint was acquired in 2021 as well. And now they've been killed in 2026. Yeah. Haven Studios was acquired in 2022, and I believe they're making Fair Games, which I am not.
What's Fair
Games? That game, that ridiculous looking live service game that they showed.
That looks terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Bungie was acquired in 2022,
dude,
and Marathon's
Bungie's
coming out
cooked.
soon. And
Bungie's
if
done.
Marathon does not set the world on fire, Bungie's finished as well.
They're cooked, dude. I do want to know though.
I just wanted to say, 2022, they acquired Neon Koi, which they were working on a live service mobile game. They were closed in 2024, and then Firewalk was purchased in 2023, and they put out Concord, and they were closed in 2024. So all these recent, in the past 5-year acquisitions, aiming for the live service kind of, as a goal, have been complete catastrophic failures. Whereas you go a few years in the past, right? And you look at some of their more organic acquisitions. Insomniac, right? People forget Insomniac, even though they are completely associated with PlayStation, they were not actually acquired until 2019. Right? So
they did an Xbox exclusive last gen.
They did, yeah. Insomniac has a rich, decade plus, 2-decade plus history with PlayStation. And only after that, PlayStation incorporated them into the first party. That's the way it should be done. Same with Housemarque. For eons now, Housemarque is making twin-stick shooters for PlayStation, right? Resogun was a PlayStation 4 launch exclusive and one of the best launch games on PS4. Probably the best launch game on PS4. And just recently, they've been acquired into the first party, and they made Returnal, right? Like, that is the way these organic first-party acquisitions should be done. Not chasing some imaginary trophy for live service, right? We saw it, I would argue it all kicked off with Activision Blizzard, and now all these companies are scrambling to buy up more pieces of the pie because they're afraid. And it's just...
The bodies are piling up.
Yeah, they're sacrificing more and more at the altar of live service. And the frustrating thing, like we said, is that they're able to do it.
Yeah.
They have the economics to do it. It's just... And as long as they get one success, they'll call it worth it. But, it's just so frustrating as a fan of these, traditional single-player games.
I have a question for you, though. You've said there's only so much of this as a PlayStation player you're willing to take. What's that look like? Do you go to PC? Because you're not going to Xbox.
No.
Steam machine?
I don't know, right? Probably PC and Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A living room PC. I highly recommend.
Yeah. I mean, they're pushing me in that direction.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but they're definitely pushing me in that direction. It's very frustrating. And especially Bluepoint. This is the one that really got to me, right? Because it was the first time it was a studio I actually cared about.
Yeah.
Right? Previously, they were just killing all of their live service studios. But now, they turned Bluepoint into a live studio.
Yeah.
They turned Bluepoint into a live service studio, then killed it, which is just unacceptable to me.
This was an Xbox-style blunder. This was getting rid of your Tango game.
Yeah.
Tango,
It's just awful. And, Bluepoint are some of the best in the industry at what they do. There's very few in the remake game that can do it like Bluepoint, and they know that, right? Sony even said that, we're going to try and that's re-assimilate a lot of the developers into other first-party studios, but
oh, they have, okay.
They said not everyone, right? They said a few of them.
Because I was also thinking, if somebody would buy them. If they sold Bluepoint,
oh yeah,
Xbox
for sure.
would have bought them in a heartbeat.
Someone would have, yeah. But what's frustrating to me is that I think from Sony's current leadership's perspective, they're oh, we have Nixxes to cover that niche now.
But Nixxes does ports. That's different.
They do ports, but maybe they don't see enough revenue potential for high quality remakes, which is a
now that
shame.
I could see. I mean, do we know the sales numbers for the Demon Souls remake?
I don't I would have to search around. I
imagine it's certainly not an Elden Ring, right? It didn't. Set the world
It's
on
definitely
fire.
not an Elden Ring, but it was positioned to. I feel like it sold fairly well because it was a launch game for PS5, and a lot of people did not play Demon Souls on PS3, me included. Right?
No, I mean, it
as
didn't even
one
come
of the
to
biggest
West
Souls fan
at first.
I missed Demon Souls.
Yeah.
So the PS5 remake was my first exposure to Demon Souls, and it was wonderful.
This is no shade to anybody, but you had to be a crazy level of weeb to play the original Demon Souls at launch.
Right, you had to import it from Japan and do all this stuff.
You had to, and even when it got brought to the West, you had to know, and people didn't know.
Right, yeah, you had to be on the right forums to know about it, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, now we're here, and I'm just angry.
Yeah.
It sucks, man. It sucks that like this is the direction PlayStation is bullheadedly going in, right? Like for better or worse, they're like, we're going here, and we don't care about who we have to sacrifice to go here. And I do feel like it's only a matter of time before we see more studios like Media Molecule on the pyre here.
And
because I really do feel like almost no one is safe. Almost no one except for maybe the holy trinity of Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica, and Insomniac.
I mean, I think this could have been Naughty Dog or Insomniac. They both had live service games cooking, like the multiplayer Spider-Man.
But here's the thing. I think because they're Naughty Dog and Insomniac, they got one chance.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because they're Insomniac, because they're Naughty Dog, they're like, okay, we'll eat the cost for you because it's you, but don't do this again. Right? Like, I for anyone else, they'd be done. That's the scary kind of world.
I'm going to continue my controversial take. The Spider-Man live service game could have worked. They could have cooked with that.
Sure, man. I don't know. Like, you'd have to prove it to me. Like,
I would play a multiplayer Spider-Verse game that just gets a bunch of new skins all the time. I wouldn't spend any money on it. I'd pay the cost of entry and then I'd play all the new content. But I would play it. Like,
okay. I mean, yeah, I feel like it's a tall order to execute. Because if you just turn it into like a third-person shooter, I'm not interested.
It's not though. It would just be the gameplay of the Spider-Man games. I
guess that would be cool. Yeah.
I mean, the difficulty curve in those games is basically non-existent anyway. So
but no, let's cancel that and fund fair games for God's sake.
Exactly. Like, even if it wasn't that great, it would have been better than fair games. It would have at least performed well.
I don't know what they're thinking with that. Like, there's zero chance that game.
No,
that game's just another Concord. I have no idea what they're doing here. Man. Okay. Anything else to say about Bluepoint before we move on?
I don't think so. R.I.P.
Goodbye, Bluepoint.
Yeah,
you didn't deserve it. But
I never got to play one of your games.
Got taken in the back and shot in the head by Sony.
Yep.
All right, for more crazy news this week, crazy news part 2, huge shakeup at Xbox. Like, probably the biggest news ever since Phil Spencer became head of Xbox. He's retiring. Phil Spencer is gone. Sarah Bond is gone, which is even more surprising in a way, right? Because she was being positioned kind of as Phil's successor.
Right.
So to me, this reads as like...
she was passed up, yeah.
Yeah. Microsoft cleaning the board a little bit. And Asha Sharma, who is an AI executive, is now the head of Xbox. So there's a lot to talk about here. And first of all, I think we need to talk about Phil Spencer. So I think now that he's gone or on his way out or whatever, he'll be remembered for two things. He'll be remembered for Game Pass and Activision Blizzard, right?
He acquired Minecraft too, didn't he?
Oh, was that him? Yeah. Then
So one good thing, kind of.
One successful venture for sure. The jury's still out on the other two.
Yeah.
But it isn't looking good. But I think this had to happen, and I think yes, there is some truth to him retiring, but I also believe that he was maybe encouraged a little bit to step aside.
Yeah.
Because hardware revenue for Xbox is down year over year, and it has been for a while. And obviously, they keep saying they don't care about that, but they do care about that, right? Well, I don't know. They keep flip-flopping on it, right? Because now Asha is saying, I want to bring back Xbox, the return of Xbox. And to me, that means Xbox as a console again, right?
Yeah.
That's completely antithetical to the direction they were going in, which apparently was Sarah Bond's direction under Phil Spencer to put Xbox everywhere, right? So it seems like two conflicting narratives, which always seems to be the case at Xbox, a company constantly at war with itself, not sure what it wants to be or what it wants to do.
Well, I guess there's basically no possibility of getting in trouble with the current FCC, but they have to keep Call of Duty multi-platform for however long, or...
Right, yeah, like, let's say in this hypothetical, purely hypothetical, but Asha comes in and is like, once again, everything is exclusive to Xbox. That would there would be pandemonium everywhere. Right?
I mean, I'd be furious because, I'd be mad. There's only a handful of games I care about, but
no more Fable.
yeah, no more Fable. That'd be the bad one. That'd be the tough pill to swallow. But there's a tweet that I've seen being passed around where somebody was, and I think this is like, you might disagree, but I just think this is an insane take. But it was somebody as a gamer expressing. Let me clarify my position before I continue. Yeah. I understand that exclusives are important to a company like Sony because they give you a reason to buy a PlayStation. I never like gamers defending exclusives. I think it's silly. I think it is. It's literally exclusionary,
right?
For no reason. You should want the games you like to be available everywhere. That is better for everyone, except perhaps the platform holder. So, taking a step back, there was an Xbox gamer tweeting at Asha that they really care about exclusives and how important it is to the Xbox consumer to have exclusives. And Asha replies, "Hear you." And this is insane. She should have, first of all, said nothing because.
Yeah, I don't like. So, okay, let me make my position clear.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give anyone the benefit of the doubt when I meet them, or not even meet them, like when I'm introduced to them, let's say. So I'm willing to give Asha the benefit of the doubt. I want to see what she does. I want to see what she brings to the table, right? And I know a lot of people are already writing her off, right? Like they're saying she's just some AI exec designed to basically sunset Xbox. I don't know about any of that. Actions speak louder than words. Let's see what she does. But I will say that my confidence level isn't too high because, and there's one very important reason, and it's actually not fully the AI thing, right? My whole reason, and a lot of people disagree with this, is that I wholeheartedly believe that you have to have a love for video games and a love for the industry to be in the job she's in. I really believe that. And I know a lot of people disagree with that. They're like, it's a business. As long as you can run a business, you can run this. Spencer. I do not think that's true. I think video games are a unique industry where technical acumen, business acumen, passion, and art all have to come together and meet for success to happen, right? I think if you're not passionate about video games, you're not going to succeed at this job, no matter how good of a business person you are. That's what I believe.
I agree.
That could be wrong, but that's what I believe.
I agree with you so fundamentally that I would take out everything you said about video games. I think the world was a better place when the people running companies understood what they did.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to go back that far for that 20 or 30 years.
But I mean, especially since we're talking about video games, you look at Shuhei Yoshida for PlayStation, you look at Reggie Fils-Aimé for Nintendo, right? Like even Phil Spencer for Xbox, right? Like, yes, he made a lot of, let's call them bad decisions.
Yeah, but he was clearly a gamer.
He was clearly passionate about video games, right? And I think that element is so important because like without that element there, you're never going to fully understand what you're getting into, right? And that's my worry here because like I don't think she is into video games. She seems to be completely new to gaming as a whole.
No,
right? Like,
no. Didn't you see that they shared her gamer tag that's 6 months old, and also she shared her 3 favorite games, and one of them was Valheim, and I don't remember the other 2.
Chrono Trigger, I think. Yeah, I don't know,
Trigger.
man.
I mean, I'm not laughing because Chrono Trigger is a bad pick. I'm laughing because it's like, okay, that's the Google, fake favorite game I'd have picked too. Throw Final Fantasy VII in there, maybe.
Right. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's true, what's false about this woman. Right. Like, maybe she is into video games, but like, my point still stands. Where like, if she is an AI executive with no experience in video games, like even if she's the best businesswoman in the world, I don't think she'll find success with Xbox.
I do want to make our stance, I'm not accusing you of this at all. I want to make our stance as a podcast clear that we think she's not a gamer because she's an executive, not because she's a woman. Like, just to be 100% clear.
No,
this is not coming from a sexism place. This is coming from a like sick of being lied to by suits place.
Right. And like, her AI background is a little suspect, right? Especially in light of
like,
I mean, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, Satya Nadella, right? The CEO of Microsoft.
Yeah.
He is completely AI brained, right? Like every single facet of the company, he wants to inject AI into.
And
every
I just
problem
have to say,
the company faces is an AI problem, right?
Nothing says confidence in a product like having to force your employees to use it.
Right, yeah. But you look at, Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, right? Sarah Bond, I think, was president of Xbox. That was her title or whatever. And for years, people were like, okay, she's Phil's successor. She's being set up for the role, all of this kind of stuff. And then she gets completely pushed aside, right? There was no mention of Sarah Bond in the succession letter that Satya Nadella put out or anyone, which is, I think, very telling, right?
It's very rude.
It's very rude. And like, I did see there was a Verge article put out that said, oh, Sarah Bond was the one who was just like, Xbox has to be everywhere. And the internal studios disagreed with her and she was like hard to work with. I don't know how much of that I believe, quite frankly. I think at the end of the day, right, if the buck stops with Herman Hulst at PlayStation, I think the buck stops with Phil Spencer at Xbox, right? So I think to me, like, and obviously I have no way of knowing this, but it really sounds like all the bad stuff you didn't like about Xbox was Sarah Bond's idea, and now she's gone. So now you don't have to worry. That kind of thing. Right?
I just have to push back on that. Do you think Xbox hardware sales are in a better place right now if they'd kept...
No.
Yeah. Their exclusives are not good. Like, Oblivion, I guess, would have been compelling.
Say, like, Bethesda exclusives would have moved the needle, I think, right? Like Oblivion, even Starfield. I think millions and millions of people played Starfield.
But would they have bought a console? Would they have bought a console?
Would it have been a system seller? I don't know. Maybe not.
Because my problem
Elder
is
Scrolls 6, dude, Elder Scrolls will be a console seller, though.
I will say the day before Starfield came out, it was a system seller. The day after, it was not. The second people knew what it was. But that's the thing.
No one cares about that, right? Yeah. Like, from their perspective, if you buy an Xbox,
I know, but I just don't know how many people are willing to buy for a game that they haven't seen reviews on.
Right.
Yeah.
However, I will say, like, the one game they do have in their catalog that will be like that is Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
People will... Yeah, if it is console exclusive, which it won't be console exclusive, but if it is, people will buy Xboxes for that game.
And my question is, like, if they're pulling back, hypothetically, if they're pulling back, are they pulling back from PC as well? Because I think that pulling back from PlayStation is still, like, they've got runway to do it. Pulling back from PC would be disastrous at this point.
I don't know. It's all a thought exercise at this point. She just said she wants to bring Xbox back. That could mean anything, right? Yeah. That could mean anything. And obviously someone said, like, bring back exclusives, and she was like, I hear you. What else is she supposed to say? She either says nothing.
She should have said nothing.
Or she acknowledges them in some kind of way, and that's what she chose to do. Right?
Yeah, acknowledging them is such a strange thing to do, though, because it was just a random guy, right? Like,
but like the vibe I get from her is that she's just now in this job, and she's very active on social media, trying to like settle into it. Or
it's a
whatever,
mistake.
Right?
Should not.
I do think it is a mistake.
Herman Hulst is not tweeting at people. You know, say what you will about him. He's not making people mad on the hate app.
Because, like, no matter what you say on social media, you will get an angry mob after you. So, like, hopefully for her own sanity, she stops.
God forbid you talk about some robot legs in Star Fox or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they wanted to kill you.
Dude, they came for my ass.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's Asha. We kind of, that's interesting. Like, I mentioned Phil Spencer, and obviously the focus shifted to her pretty quickly, but it should, right? Like, she's now
Phil Spencer's yesterday's news now.
She is now the face of Xbox. And Matt Booty still around. I don't know how that guy still has a job, but
yeah,
he's been around. Like, to me, this is almost a complete cleaning of the old guard. I feel like Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, right? But Matt Booty's still around. I think he got promoted or something. Whatever.
Did he get promoted out of Xbox?
No, he's still in Xbox. So there's a picture of like Asha and Matt together. They're like kind of the faces of Xbox now. But like, she's got a tough job ahead of her. She has been put in a position where it's like the odds are completely stacked against her.
I mean,
right?
Yeah. Like, what does bring Xbox back look like to you? Because if you just had to make up your ideal scenario.
Okay, but let me just say this.
Yeah.
supposedly they're launching an Xbox PC hybrid next year.
Yeah.
That is not bringing Xbox back.
Oh my God, you're right.
It will she? I mean, like, if this console is truly coming out in 2027, it's done, right? Like, the design's final. They're probably manufacturing it right now, right?
Yeah, if they can get a hold of a stick of RAM, maybe.
Are they? Yeah. But are they going to just kill that and then start from scratch for the next console? I don't know. I don't think so, right? Like, these things are so massive. They have so much momentum. Like, you might just have to eat it for the next console and be like, okay, the one after that.
But
like, at that point, you kind of made your bed, right? Like, she is not in an enviable position. What is she going to do?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So to my question,
to answer your question, I would make, if it were me, I would make immediate hard decisions where, like, next console's canceled, we're starting from scratch, and it's going to be a true console.
See, to me, it's all about the games. I think if the games are there, it doesn't matter if it's a hybrid PC console. Like, it's got to be a good Halo game. Like, a real good like, if you have to gut 343, like,
here's the
down
thing.
to the bare metal, like, you have to make a good Halo game.
If Asha doesn't have experience with video games, how does she ensure that happens?
I agree. Yeah.
You know, like, that's hard, right? Like, and I think there is a case, like, I think in this position as head of, like, the studios for both PlayStation and Xbox and even Nintendo, right? We don't see the hard decisions. We don't see most of them, right? There's so many canceled games out there. Games that never see the light of day. Because in that position, you have to be the kind of arbiter, right? You have to be the one that says, okay, this has the potential to turn into something, or no, like, I know you've spent a year plus on this, but we have to go back to the drawing board because this just doesn't have the sauce. Like, Shuhei Yoshida made those decisions for PlayStation. Reggie Fils-Aimé made those decisions for Nintendo.
Did
right?
he?
Phil Spencer. Oh, maybe there was someone under him.
Well, I imagine it was like probably a Japanese developer.
Right.
Probably wasn't Reggie.
But Phil Spencer made those decisions for Xbox, and, like, people say that Phil Spencer gave studios almost too much freedom, which is an interesting thing to say, right? Like, too much freedom might also not be conducive to excellent video game development. There has to be some kind of middle ground there where you are strict with what you see coming out of a studio versus giving them enough creative freedom to express themselves.
I agree with that. I do. Yeah. I mean, I do think you do not get great art typically out of a situation that has no restrictions. I think typically the best things come out of complicated, about overcoming adversity in some way. So, you know, like, if you have infinite hardware, infinite money to burn, infinite time to work, like, it is very difficult to come out with something good, I feel like. But I don't know, man. I do think... Yeah,
like, thinking about where Xbox is at, right? There's just so many directions, right? We have Game Pass. What happens to Game Pass? We have Cloud, right? They were big on pushing xCloud as well. Like, all of these kind of things.
I don't think xCloud goes away.
Defines Xbox now. Like, she could pick and focus on any one of them or all of them. And as far as Game Pass goes, right? Like, I don't know what the future of that looks like. Like, I feel like now that it's kind of like a fire that they started, they have to keep feeding, right? Like, whether they want to or not, right? But I think if they had a time machine and they could go back, I don't think they would ever do Game Pass.
Really?
Because I think they've conditioned a lot of their audience to never buy games, and buying games is how they make most of their money, not through Game Pass subs. Like, that math would be flipped if they had more subs, but they don't, right? So, and that's why you don't see games like Call of Duty getting put on Game Pass.
I wonder what the subscriber counts look like right now, because I don't have... Obviously, I have no hard data, but the only person I know right now off the top of my head that has a Game Pass subscription of any kind, including, like, isn't Xbox Live is considered Game Pass now? The only person I know that has it is Mike, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, they stopped reporting numbers a long time ago, but I think around the Activision hearings, it was around 30 million.
Yeah, and most of the people that I know had canceled, by the way, before the price increase.
The price increases,
it was just economic circumstances, you know.
And that's, like, before the kind of news of, like, Xbox going third party and all of that kind of stuff. So you got to think that maybe those numbers aren't where they need them to be, but like, what is she as the president of Xbox or CEO of Xbox now do about it? Because you can't backtrack on Game Pass. I feel like that just kills you now. So you have to find a way to make it work. Google
would kill it tomorrow. And
well, that's the other thing too. Like, honestly, Microsoft could kill Xbox. It is not vital to their business like PlayStation is to Sony, right? Like,
I absolutely could do it, and a lot of people because I think Xbox makes money.
Sorry, go ahead.
Xbox makes money. Like, there's no reason to kill it.
They do. But that's the frustrating thing, right? Like, the whole thing is that it doesn't make enough money, right?
Right, but that
is the problem. Because remember, like oh my gosh, I forget her name. This CFO of Microsoft came in and was like, Xbox needs to have 30% margins, right? And that's after she came in and said that. That's when we started to see all the layoffs and all this kind of stuff, right? And that's like an impossible number to hit, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's
and she's still
unreal.
CFO of Microsoft. I'm forgetting her name right now, but she's still in that position, right? And she's like, directly. It's like Satya Nadella at the top, then CFO of Microsoft underneath her, or underneath him, and then also underneath him is now Asha, right?
Yeah.
So they're kind of parallel to each other. So what I'm saying is that she still has influence on Xbox's business practices, which is, I don't think, very good.
I just like if I'm head of Microsoft and I'm looking at this thing and I'm worried about it for some reason, I cut the hardware completely, and I do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
I completely cut the hardware because it's not making. That's not making.
And honestly, that's what a lot of people theorize. Asha is there to do, right? Basically, sunset the hardware.
And I think people will be sad about that, and I also think that's a little silly. I don't like a PlayStation monopoly. Nobody should like a PlayStation monopoly, but I think missing the Xbox hardware is a little silly, because if the games are coming to PlayStation, who cares?
Well, I guess as like, if you've built your library on Xbox, like that person would care a lot. If the situation was reversed,
but they have it because they all got Game Pass.
Well, yeah. But if the situation was reversed, right, and PlayStation was going away and be like, okay, my 1,000 games on there are just kind of going to evaporate now. Like, they're not going to evaporate, but I'm sure there's going to be some kind of client or something I can use to access them. I'd still be pretty upset, right? Like,
I mean, your PlayStation 5 wouldn't just stop working. Like,
it wouldn't just stop working. Yeah, that's true.
But like, play it on your PlayStation 5.
I find a lot of comfort and security in the fact that this is a platform that is going to be around for PlayStation. And I don't think Xbox fans have that luxury of that security.
Yeah,
right now.
That argument feels nebulous to me now, 15 years later. But that was a selling point for me on Steam, I guess. When I hopped on PC gaming, the fact that when I bought a game on Steam, it was still going to work 15 years later on my new PC was a massive selling point to me. And I just take it for granted now.
Sorry, her name is Amy Hood, by the way, the CFO. Okay. So you might have heard her name mentioned, maybe by us or in news articles, but she's had a pretty drastic impact on Xbox and how they operate because of the financial kind of demands coming from her and her people.
So when do you think we'll start to see Asha? When is Phil Spencer actually out?
I think it's like this week, dude. Like pretty soon. Yeah.
So my wondering is, like, are we going to figure out what Asha's about at Summer Games Fest? Because I think that's the earliest.
I mean, yeah, I think she's got to show up, right? And like, she's already kind of talking to people on Twitter, which is ill-advised, I think. Yeah. But I mean, look, I think, like I said at the beginning of this whole discussion, everyone deserves the benefit of the doubt.
I agree.
So I'm eager to see what she's got to offer and which direction she takes Xbox in.
I do think what I think is wild is, like, they've got Todd Howard right there. Like, they've got like all of these industry veteran company runners.
But honestly, I take Todd Howard as someone who's too in love with what he does. Like, he just wants. I think he wants. To
he was just the first name that came to mind. But they've got this massive repertoire of extremely skilled game development companies, and they didn't grab an internal hire for this. Like,
yeah, I don't know. And I have to wonder, right? Like, the fact that they just swiped Cerebon to the side, does that mean that they really are intent on changing the direction of Xbox?
Yeah.
Like, because like that's to me what that says, right? Like if you get rid of the people making all these decisions, like Xbox everywhere and all this kind of stuff, then you no longer want to do all of that. And coupled with her language of bringing Xbox back, I think this is the first reset for Xbox in a very, very, very long time. Like probably since
Dawn Magic.
Yeah. I was going to say since the Xbox One reveal, which was kind of like a bad reset. But like this could be, as far as I look at it now, this is a neutral reset. And where it goes depends on what she decides to do. But if I were a betting man, I'm, you know.
Yeah, because the problem with bringing Xbox back is the glory days for the Xbox are, in my opinion, perhaps the darkest years ever for gaming. The Xbox 360. Like, I don't want that back.
Yeah.
I don't want that back at all.
I think, but by glory days for Xbox, I think what she means is a time and place where Xbox was in the living room and people kind of universally loved it, right? Like, everyone loved the 360.
Right. What I mean is, if you are doing a naive look and trying to look at what the conditions were like that made the Xbox the living room console and everything, like every American had one. Don't do that. Like those were bad conditions. I don't want to see those. I mean, like, you
can't, we're way past that time. You know, times are much more complicated now, so it can't just be that. Yeah. But I feel like if that's the spirit you want to recapture a bit, regardless of how you go about doing it, I think that's a good goal to aim for. The glory days of, Halo 3 or whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
how do you get there? I don't know. I'm not equipped
game.
to get them there. Hopefully she is.
I love the Halo Infinite multiplayer. I do. I mean, I played it to death. I'm kind of tired of it. I don't really want to play it anymore. But that campaign is dog water. Like, we need a good Halo campaign. And the remake is not it. Like, the remake is great, but that's not what I'm asking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And she also emphasized, like, I don't know if you read her, like, introduction letter, but she made, like, 3 big points. And, like, one of the, like, she said bringing Xbox back. And another big point she wanted to highlight was taking new risks, right? So, to me, that sounds like the development of exciting new IP.
Yeah.
Right? And I do think that's what Xbox needs, quite frankly, right? Like, how many times are you just going to trot out Halo, Gears, Forza before it gets old, right? Like, new IP,
I want something
I think
from
is
Rare.
something very much needed from Xbox.
This is like tangentially related, but Sea of Thieves is dead. Like, they've made some very poor decisions at Rare recently.
Oh no, and Everwild got canceled too, right? So Rare might not
Rare's in hot water right now.
Might be in a bad point. Yeah.
Every content creator I knew that was doing Sea of Thieves content, which isn't that many. I don't follow the scene that closely, but they all switched to Arc Raiders. I have not seen somebody stream Sea of Thieves in months. Not since Arc Raiders came out, I don't think.
Oh, it's interesting that Arc Raiders took from that audience, but
I think they're very similar games, actually.
Okay.
In that, like, the whole game is the social, the interactions you're having with other players. I actually think Arc Raiders does it. It's the first game I've ever played that I think does it better than Sea of Thieves. But I would kill. Well, no, I wouldn't kill. I'd love a Sea of Thieves too. I think if Rare can't muster something else, something more creative, a Sea of Thieves 2 with modern technology that is more technically sound, because that is where that game is falling apart at the seams for me. That'd be very nice. I would be there day one.
No, I think Rare is a special studio. Like, they have a lot of history too in the industry. So I hope they don't just get shot in the back like Bluepoint did.
I think it's more likely every day, unfortunately.
But yeah, the future of Xbox. It's a new day for Xbox. But what will that day bring?
Get Fable out the door before you shutter everything, please.
Yeah. Do that. Like, there is a future that I think is quite likely in that, 5 years from now, Xbox is just like a Call of Duty factory.
Yeah.
And like the complete, Activision actually ate Xbox, that will come to fruition, where it was like the other way around, right? Like, people were like, oh, Xbox is going to absorb Activision. It's definitely looking like it's going the other way, with games coming out everywhere, Xbox going third party. But I don't know, like, the potential for change is there, which I think is a lot more than a lot of Xbox fans could ask for at this point, right? The potential for change, positive change, real change is there now because a new person is at the top, right? So now's the time to make your voice heard, right? Like, and it sounds like she is listening, right?
Yeah.
So, interesting times. All right, anything else to say about Xbox, Phil Spencer, Asha Sharma?
Do you think we could get Asha on the show?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll write an email later.
All right, so I know you've been a busy bee, Connor.
I have an absurd number of games to talk about. It's actually sick.
So I know you've been playing between this week and last week.
I beat Resident Evil 2, 4, and 7.
Okay, yeah, you were playing 2 last week, but you completed 2, 4, and 7, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They're good.
You're fully ready. You're fully ready for
I'm
9.
not. I have to finish 8.
Yeah, you're actually not, but yeah. But yeah, so let's start with 4, I guess. What are your thoughts on Resident Evil 4?
My thought, I liked it. First, I want to say this. I liked it. My thought the entire time playing it is, how does anyone like this more than Resident Evil 2? And
well, that's the thing, though. Like, that's actually hotly debated in Resident Evil, like, which is the best. Because, like, if you're more action loving, then you're gravitate towards 4, but 2 is definitely more of a horror game.
At risk of being mean, I feel like 4 is Resident Evil for weenies. Like, there's not a single scary moment in that game. Like,
2 is definitely scarier than 4. But one thing that I'm sure, I don't know if you've considered, is the historical impact of 4, right? Like,
well, what I've considered is that 4 might have been better than 2 originally.
The original,
and then
yes,
the remake
probably.
of 2 is better than the remake of 4. That has crossed my mind, especially
like,
because
4, without 4, we would not get Uncharted, for example. Like, 4 set the precedent for like third person action adventure shooting games. Basically.
Interesting. So I didn't think of it in that context. What I was thinking of the whole time I was playing it, the whole time Ashley was there, I'm like, oh, this is where BioShock Infinite comes from. This is where The Last of Us comes from. Like,
yeah, I mean, The Last of Us, Uncharted, Gears of War, all these games can trace their lineage back to Resident Evil 4. It was hugely influential.
I had not considered that. I'm glad you said that. Because I did like it. Like, 100% I liked the game. I was having fun the whole time I was playing it. I was grinning ear to ear for the final.
Leon is just such a lovable goofball.
He's gaming's greatest himbo. Like, he's silly.
He's so stupid.
He's fun. He's way better than Chris Redfield. I've been exposed to Chris Redfield just a little bit recently, and he does not have the sauce that Leon Kennedy has. Claire is way better than Chris.
Leon's awesome. Yeah.
I do have to say,
roundhouse kicking fools. Yeah, go ahead.
Talking about 2 a little bit. Claire, you didn't play Claire's story.
No.
Claire's entire story, and I didn't know about Chris at the time. I didn't know Chris was her brother. I understand that now, the greater lore. Claire's entire story is that she went into a zombie-infested city to look for her brother, who's not there. Like,
oh, that sucks.
He's just not there. He's on vacation in Europe or something. Like, it's crazy. You figure that out halfway through. He was never there.
The miscommunication of the century.
Yeah, and then you find this little girl named Sherry, and the rest of the story is about you protecting and helping cure Sherry, who's been infected with the G virus.
Okay, so it's like a completely different...
Totally different story, yeah. Different.
Oh, that's
you
interesting.
still interact with Dr. Birkin. You still fight the same bosses. You're still getting chased by Mr. X. I also have to correct myself. I said that Mr. X was not in the original. He is not in the first run of the original. He shows up in the second run.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so...
That's kind of crazy, actually.
In the remake, he is in both runs.
Yeah.
And then there's a special final boss you fight at the end if you do both stories. I actually think Claire's story, because it was so much faster than Leon's, for me, because I already knew the map and everything, I think it's worth doing. I liked it.
Yeah.
Then I moved on to 4. Really loved 4 all the way through. Did have to suspend disbelief a little bit. It's something that always bothers me about these. And obviously, once you know about the infection and everything, this goes away. But there's like a moment early game where you have saved Ashley, and it is pissing the rain. Like, it is a horrible storm, so bad that the helicopter can't pick you up. And what you do in that situation, if you're in a survival situation like this, if you're ever in a zombie village and you need to get away, you do not go to the castle. You just walk into the woods. The rain is going to wash away your footprints and they will never, ever find you. Just walk into the woods. It made me so angry playing it that was not what they did.
Resident Evil for me, especially pre-7, falls into the camp.
Yeah, it was.
Umbrella so heavily for me that I just excuse all that. It's just such a blast to play those games, I think.
It was. It just that was like, it bothers me to see Leon Kennedy, trained government agent, do something worse than I would have done it. Like genuinely, I could have done this better than him, and it made me so angry. But that's whatever, you know.
But yeah, the gameplay of 4 is just, and especially in the remake, like them taking, because obviously 4 was the OG that set the precedent for like third-person action adventure games going forward. But then obviously the remake takes a lot from like kind of modernizing it. Well, but it just felt incredible to play.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I liked it, but I felt like it had the same clunky shooting that was in Resident Evil 2. And in Resident Evil,
I thought it was noticeably better than 2, but again, it's been a while since I've played these games.
So it felt pretty much the same to me. And I played these on controller on my TV with surround sound and everything for the cinematic experience. And I very intentionally did not turn on gyro aim because I am of the opinion that in these games, like they don't have aim assist when you're playing it on standard mode. Aiming is supposed to be clunky in these. It is that is part of the horror experience. Is that
right? Don't you like get upgrades that stabilize your aim? Or is
maybe I didn't get
maybe
them.
That's a different game. Yeah, never mind.
But yeah, like the aim, like I think playing this with a keyboard and mouse would have actually like seriously hindered the experience because it would have been too easy to just shoot him in the head. You could line up your shots too quickly. Playing it with no gyro, no aim assist, and like lining up the shots, the tension was there, and the tension still made sense in Resident Evil 4, but it did it felt so intentional in 2. Where you're scared and more stressed and everything, whereas 4 was more of an action, like you're saying, an action adventure
4 is an action
game,
movie.
Where I feel like they should have just put aim assist in it. Like, I don't know. But it didn't kill the experience. I still loved it. I felt like that felt like a holdover from the previous remake. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the original game, on the GameCube, that, you know, there probably is like almost no shared code between Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4, so it would have just been God, I'm glad I said that. I said a couple weeks ago, or whenever I talked about it last week, that Devil May Cry was originally a spin-off of Resident Evil, and that is wrong. Devil May Cry was Resident Evil 4. It was the original, and you can see it. It's so clear, like the chapter structure, the like linear romp through a castle.
That's crazy.
But the linear romp through a castle that's a little bit open at parts and everything, the chapter structure, all of that, it's so clear. The only thing I don't understand is why they didn't just keep it. I don't understand why it got spun off, because I don't think Resident Evil 4 feels so similar to Devil May Cry, but Devil May Cry has more fun combat, and a less serious tone, I guess. So I'm a little confused why they made the decision. I think we're better for it at the end of the day. Maybe. I mean, I guess Resident Evil 5 and 6 are a pain point for the franchise. I haven't played them, but
which is so weird, right? They go from like their highest point to their lowest.
Well, the problem I think is that Resident Evil 4 is so good because it is like nearly perfect at what it's setting out to do. But I think if you mess any of that up, all of the little flaws and nitpicks that I've mentioned.
They took some big swings, right? Like I forget
6
which
is co-op.
Yeah, I was like, which one's the co-op one? Is it 5 or 6? One of them is, yeah. It was just like, it just didn't work.
Well, apparently it works in co-op, but if you play it by yourself, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I remember trying to play it with my sister, and it was just like, fine.
Yeah. I might play those eventually, but I'm kind of racing to get ready for
I'm just waiting for the inevitable remakes of those games, which I feel like Capcom is so good at remaking Resident Evil. They'll clean up whatever issues there were with those games.
Yeah, that could be cool. I hope they do. Because I have really enjoyed the remakes. I might play the original 4 sometime, just because I feel like more than any of the others, the historical context on it.
It's a very historically important game.
Yeah. And I have a GameCube, so, you know.
But then you finally revisited Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, and
Biohazard.
my opinions on the early game stayed the same, where I was not particularly scared and was a little bored.
So that's so interesting to me, because like I really like the house stuff, but it sounds like you didn't like the house and
when the house fully opened up, I was on board. But the early house, like the scene that I turned it off in originally is right after you are captured by Frank. What's the dad's name?
I think it's Frank. Welcome to the family, son.
Yeah, welcome to the family, son. I was like just really turned off by this scene. Like your girlfriend has just attacked, or your wife, right? Wife has just attacked you with a chainsaw. She cut off your arm.
Right.
And then they staple your arm back to you. And I'm like immediately like, oh, there's no tension to this game. There's no bad thing that happens to me has any permanence now. I don't care anymore. And that took me a while to get over, because I really think that's a misstep to make your protagonist immortal, essentially. I mean, not from a gameplay perspective, but from a narrative perspective, you were like basically unkillable. And I guess it was supposed to be a twist at some point that you were infected, and I immediately clocked whatever's wrong with these people is wrong with me. They sewed my arm back on. Like, obviously, I've been infected. And that just, none of that hit for me. I also just don't find Frank scary. He's just kind of a dick.
No, I mean, I don't find him scary, but like
I did like
the
him
tension
mechanically.
of creeping around that house while they're kind of living there was very good to me.
Yes, that part, once the house fully opened up, but I didn't play to that part. I never made it past the garage the first time I played. Once you get past the garage and you're in like the main hall, suddenly it's like, oh, I don't like this as much as the police station, but I do like this. Like this big map that I'm exploring, and it's essentially the same mechanic as Mr. X, where you run into Frank and you just have to get away from him.
So it's all fuzzy to me, right? Because all these are games I played in the past, but I do remember feeling that overall 7 was scarier than 8, with the exception of one part of 8, which is like really scary.
Right. So 8 has not been scary to me, but I'm only an hour in, so I have no.
Okay, yeah. 8 reminded me a lot more of 4, like where it was like more action focused.
Interesting. So 7, yeah, 7 also, like 7's scariest moments I don't think were as scary as 2 to me.
Although I will posit this argument: 7 in VR.
Yeah, I just don't have access to it without mods. Yeah, which is a shame.
But I will say, like, I think that ratchets up the horror a lot.
A lot
in VR.
And yeah, I think just too much of 7's horror is show. Well, show is better than tell, I guess. But like, you're not like, the best horror in 2 is when I actually had to mechanically react to it, like when Mr. X is chasing you, and when Frank or Marguerite are chasing you. I really liked that. I was less interested in the part where you're crawling through a wall and a bunch of bugs fall on you. I'm like, okay, well, it's a video game, man. Yeah. They're not my hands.
But what do you make of the transition to first person?
I don't hate it. I don't think I have any feelings about it. Yeah, it's just different. I think it's fine. I think it was the right game for the moment, because people were pretty cold on Resident Evil when this game came out. And it came out.
Yeah, 7
brought it back.
Biohazard is seen as the revival of Resident Evil, and I think it did its job in that way, right? Like it brought Resident Evil back to being a quality game in a big way. Where 5 and 6 were not that.
I think the action sections work better in first person than they do third. I think because maybe there's aim assist in this game now that I'm thinking about it, because in 7, there is, like, eventually you get a machine gun. Like, there are significant action parts in 7, and I think I liked them more than 4.
Yeah.
You know, the big boss fight, like, Frank turns into a big monster and you fight him. I don't like that so much.
Right.
In fact, the boss fights, there's not been a good Resident Evil boss fight yet. I've hated all of them.
Yeah, they're just fine.
Yeah.
They're just whatever.
Well, actually, I did kind of like Ramon in 4. The little dude, the little like the little kingly guy that turns into a big bug. I thought he was fun.
Yeah, I forget the details of these games, man. I just need to revisit them.
But it was fun. And then 7, they're just less scary once they turn into big monsters, I guess. And I think they nailed it. Agree. Evelyn, the finale.
Old lady?
Yeah, the old lady, when she turns into a big monster, that worked for me.
She was the scariest one. I remember her,
she was scary.
Like of the entire family,
Dude.
she was the one who gave me the most.
Yeah, because she would
creepies.
just like the wheelchair would just be there. Like you would walk out of your save room and she's just sitting there and you're like, she hasn't done anything yet. Like, what is her deal? And eventually you like become comfortable around her because she doesn't hurt you or anything. She's just harmless, and it turns out she's not so harmless.
Yeah,
it turns out.
Right.
I actually really like the story of 7. I think it's personal. Ethan's kind of a blank slate, but that's fine.
Right. And that's kind of how it goes with the first person protagonist a lot of the time. Yeah.
But you just play through it, and it is what it is. And I don't know, the reveals at the end, like, oh, Umbrella is now like a PMC that helps fight bioweapons. I think that's neat. Chris is working with them. Surely that's not going to end up poorly for anyone. I don't know. I liked it. I actually played I'm No Hero or something. It was like a free expansion that they released where you play as Chris and you hunt down Lucas, the like engineer guy from the family.
Never played it. Yeah.
It's not really worth your time. It was fun. It was nice to see what this iteration of Resident Evil could be as an action game, because Chris, you are not like counting your shots or anything. Like, he has plenty of ammo. He can punch. Like, the same like Leon stuns people and then kicks them. Chris could stun them and then he'd punch them.
Which is weird because like Chris is just like a guy. Leon was like trained and everything, right?
No, Chris is not just a guy anymore. I mean, he was in Stars, right? He was on the police force.
Sorry, not Chris. I was talking about the protagonist of 7 and 8. Ethan, yeah.
Ethan cannot do those things. Yeah, Ethan can't punch or anything. He is just shooting. He's trained in 8. Okay. He mentions offhand at the beginning of the game that he has taken military training with Chris.
Okay, well, I guess that makes it better.
Yeah. So, and when I heard that, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a different game from 7, huh? Like, he's trained now. But yeah, 7 overall. 7 may be. I think for me it's 2, 7, 4 right now for favorites. Because 7 starts real weak and then it gets pretty strong at the end. It's also short. It was only 6 hours for me to beat that game.
Yeah.
And
6 to 8 hours sounds right. Yeah.
I didn't like 100% it quite, but I actually found most of the optional collectibles, and I was not going out of my way to do that. I was just that game forces you to scavenge pretty seriously.
I think with Village there's a lot more variety of environment, which I think you might find interesting.
I'm excited to play. I'll be playing 8 as soon as we get off here. I'm excited.
Yeah, you'll be all caught up. Look at you.
Yeah, I'll be all caught. Well, I might even go back and play 3 if I have time, because I hear 3's real short. 3's like 5 hours or something.
3's probably the shortest one.
Yeah. So if I have time, I do want to criticize one thing, though. One really bad thing. Our favorite RE engine, the Reach for the Moon engine. Why can this
wild?
Why can they not get HDR to work in this thing? Like, I don't remember HDR being bad in Monster Hunter Rise, which is RE engine, but maybe it was. I can't remember. But I can say for certain, Monster Hunter Wilds, which is RE engine, the HDR works fine. But I have had to mod every single one of these Resident Evil games to get the HDR, and I hate doing that because there's like a part of me that's like, the second I install this mod, I no longer am seeing what the creator's vision was. But if you turn HDR in these games, it's pretty obvious you're not seeing the creator's vision because it is so hideous compared to the SDR implementation. And I looked online, and it's not as bad on console, but it is broken on console as well. It is significantly elevated blacks. It is all this. And if you just play it in SDR, it's okay, but you're not getting those highlights and stuff. And I found a mod, which to my eye looks very similar to the SDR, but has the highlights, that he says it's just like, no, their pipeline is just completely incorrect for HDR. And so this mod gets around it. It uses the same value. I don't really understand this stuff. I'm not a graphics programmer. This isn't something I've thought about since college. But he says it's just like, no, I just plugged the working graphics pipeline in, and the HDR works. And it's been gorgeous, but it's very annoying that I have to download these games and the very first thing I'm doing, I didn't even launch Resident Evil 8. I installed the mod before I ever launched it because he had the mod. I assume if he made it, it must need it. And I've already seen people online saying like, hey, are you going to have this out on launch day for Resident Evil 9? And it's like, surely they'll get it right this time, right? Because if they don't, I will not play this game until the mod exists. Because I think it is
yeah.
it is that bad of a misstep. Like, why everybody else seemed like HDR was messy on PC for a while, and so I'll give them credit for that. But why they never fixed it? They like went back and added ray tracing to these games. Why?
I don't know.
It's never been fixed. It's not
on console. Like I did notice the elevated blacks, but it didn't bother me too much. It didn't bother me to the extent where I was like, I can't play this.
Yeah, I think it's worse on PC because PC HDR was actually a mess for a while, and this was like the whole picture was just washed out, and there was nothing. Like even if you went into the HDR calibration menu,
that's frustrating.
I could not turn up the brightness enough to make the white square disappear or whatever. Like you could not do it. And then you install the mod and everything works perfectly. Those calibration tools work perfectly, and it just is fine. And did anyone test this? Does it work on NVIDIA? Because I didn't see anyone saying that this was an AMD problem. All I saw were people saying like, "Hey, no, these games don't work for anyone on PC." Like, so how did they release this way? And how did they release 5 games this way? No. Yeah, 3 remakes and two new games. Yeah, and HDR doesn't work in any of them. Like, why? What are they doing? Like, we praise Capcom a lot on this show lately, and they can't get this right. It's like the simplest thing. It feels like simple enough that a modder fixed it for free.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Just really annoying. Just very annoying. And console players are just stuck with the broken HDR implementation. Not as broken as PC, but still broken. And that's too bad to me. Because it is way
especially with a horror game. That's so important, right? So important.
Like I suffered through the broken HDR on my first playthrough as Leon in Resident Evil 2. And I had fun with it, but like that second playthrough as Claire was much spookier because it was just tonally correct.
Right.
But overall, highly recommend people play through the franchise. I will say one thing. Do not start Resident Evil 8 as soon as you finish Resident Evil 7 because the whiplash is crazy. Enjoy the ending of 7 for at least a few hours before you start 8.
Yeah, that's... I mean, honestly, what you're doing is really cool. Like, you're basically just going on a marathon for these games.
And I'm not rushing.
I think Dylan,
what I love about these games is I'm not
doing
rushing.
The same exact thing, you know? So there's a couple of you just blasting through these games.
It's been cool talking to Dylan as we do it. Although we've diverged now because I skipped 5 and 6 and he's playing them.
Yeah, he started with 1 too. I think he's just going
I didn't start with 1. He played 3 as well.
Down the line.
I'm going to go back and play 1, but I don't think I'm going to play the remake. I think I'm going to get the original 1 in an emulator or something.
It might be a little rough, but it's probably worth seeing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to take a turn now. I've been playing Mewgenics, and my God, I love this game, dude.
Yeah?
It is so good. So good. Easily a Game of the Year caliber game, in my opinion.
I mean,
I've so good.
Insane praises for it, but it is all the like I watch a lot of Dan Giesling and Northern Lion, and they've been playing it, and I find it very dull to watch.
You know what's funny is like I only watched them playing it after I started playing it. So
really?
there was no kind of influence for popular streamers, which I do watch them, but I had never seen Mewgenics before I actually bought it and played it. And I found out after the fact that this is made by the same people who made The Binding of Isaac, which is also very renowned roguelike. But I have never played it, so I had no...
You've never played The Binding of Isaac?
No, I haven't, no.
That's crazy. Everybody's played The Binding. You watch Northern Lion and you've never played The Binding of Isaac?
I've seen him play it, yeah. And I never really understood what was happening on screen when he played it.
That's crazy to me. God, your opinions on roguelikes make so much more sense now.
What are my opinions on roguelikes?
Mostly liking Hades 1.
Dude, I don't know. Everyone likes Hades 1.
I know.
You're the weird one. But anyways,
Northern
Mewgenics is an incredible game. Yeah, he hates it.
So does Dan.
Mewgenics is awesome.
Because he played 1,000 hours of Isaac. He's played a good one.
Right, yeah. So, for those who don't know, Mewgenics is a tactics game. It's a roguelike tactics game where you breed cats and send them into battle to venture through the world, or not through the world, but like through a back alley and like a cave and, places a cat would go, basically. And I think that's what makes this game so good is the cat theming. It just like permeates like every aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it's not just like cute cats, right? Like that'd be one thing, right? Because obviously cute cats sell. Like cute cats are the most like marketable thing. They're the most like Instagrammable thing, right? These cats are ugly. These cats are filthy, right? These cats are gross. This is a very gross, grody game.
That's very Edmund McMillan. Yeah.
Which it like they just nail the style, right? Like it's a cartoon style. You're not gonna have any frame rate issues. This thing is running at like 240 frames per second on my monitor. It looks great. It's very smooth. But it is a very gross game. And I love that, right? Like it just leans into it completely. The NPCs are gross. The actual cats are gross. When you breed the cats, you see them breeding and like birthing, like you see a little baby cat like being squelched out of there, like it's a whole thing.
I have not watched enough of the game to see that. I wonder if there's like a streamer safe mode or something.
I think there is a mode where you can like turn down cat humping.
Yeah.
Like or something like that. But it's pretty graphic,
yeah, that's on
and
brand.
Violent. It's violent too. These cats, they explode. They die. They like get eviscerated. Yeah. So the game's not exactly kind to cats. So if that like I know that might bother some people, but like the way it's portrayed, right? Like it's very cartoony, very goofy. So it shouldn't really, trigger you if you see a cat blow up.
I mean, that's so Edmund McMillan. Like one of the bosses in Binding of Isaac is like a stillbirth. Like one is a baby who the blue baby is like
okay, yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that in this game too. Yeah, so maybe it's like he's got like a weird birth thing.
A version of Isaac that was like asphyxiated because he locked himself in a toy chest or something. That's what the blue baby is, I think. Like his games are full of that. Like he's obsessed with cruelty, I guess, in a cartoonish fashion.
But yeah, this game's grody, it's smelly, and the music is phenomenal. I cannot stress to you how good the music in this game is. Every other song is a complete like earworm that's just stuck in my head all day. Very jazz focused, like a lot of like blues and freeform jazz in this game, which is like so weird, so random, but it fits what they're doing here. It's just incredible soundtrack. I can't stress that to you enough. And they're singing about like poop getting flushed down a toilet and like
there's the lyrics.
Like, the lyrics. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like I think that one's called Down the Hole. It's so good though. Like the songs themselves, like the lyrics are disgusting.
Did you know Northern Lion voices one of the cats?
I know he got like a bunch of streamers and stuff to do the cats.
He got Chris Chan to do one of them. If you're familiar.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there are actually a bunch of controversial figures that have voiced the cats as well. It was actually kind of a thing, but come on.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, who cares?
Mind really, but it's like the music is gross too, right? Like the lyrics are gross if you listen to them. They're like talking about like smell and like where's that smell coming from? That's like another popular song. Like I know this doesn't sound appealing at all the way I'm describing it, but the songs themselves are so good. Like such really catchy, very like extremely like virtuosic jazz songs. Like it's crazy, like crazy trumpet solos, crazy like guitar work, bass work. It's very enjoyable to listen to, especially if you like jazz. Like this music's so good.
Who doesn't really?
But the lyrics are so gross, man.
Yeah.
So gross.
I'm glad you're liking it.
I got to, and there's just an insane amount of content in this game.
I think it will be a Game of the Year contender.
In the past week, I've put in 33 hours, and my game completion percentage is at 22%.
Just so we're clear, that is, I think, more game time than I've spent in Resident Evil.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been addicted to this game.
No, I was excited to hear you talk about it today.
Still like 33 hours in, unlocking new things left and right.
Yeah.
I just unlocked a new class. Like I thought I was done with classes like 10 hours ago.
Yeah.
But more keep popping up.
If it's anything like Isaac, you've got another like 100 hours of that.
Oh yeah. Where it just keeps going and going.
Forever. Yeah. And there's going to be like some crazy secret ones that take like a god run to accomplish. Have you got a win yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah, all sorts of wins, but it's like tough to define what a win is. Like, because like you go through the map, right, and you beat it, and that's technically a win, but then unlocks a further map. So then the next one you play on the first map and then the second map.
Isaac
and
is
that's
like
just
that
like
as
one of
well.
the many map branches, right? So the cats start out in the alley, right? That's always like the starting map. And then from there's a branch. You can go either to, oh gosh, I'm going to mess this up. I think it's like the sewers or the caves, right? And from the sewers, you go further into the graveyard? No. Cave, maybe sewers cave comes after sewers. But anyway, either way, I think the terminus maps are cave and graveyard, right? And each map, so let's talk about the gameplay a little bit. Each map is a series of tactics style fights, right? Where you can like move and you have actions and stuff like that. And or the map nodes can be like random events, right? Which could give you either a positive or negative effect based off like a certain stat check for one of your cats. Or a shop where you can buy things that, help your run out. And the gameplay is so rich, dude. Like, there's just so, like, the combinatorics of this game are insane, where there's just like so many things that could happen. There's so many different skills your cats can have, and depending on how you breed them, right? Like, you can pass down certain mutations or certain skills. It's just a whole thing, right? And the way these skills kind of interact with each other, like I said, I'm seeing new stuff constantly, and I'm 33 hours in. So it's just a joy to play, and especially if you like tactics gameplay, right? Like, the combination of, like, the deep tactics gameplay with, like, the cute cats, like, mutilating things, it's just a very enjoyable set of like a enjoyable kind of dichotomy there. But you play through, right, like, so, and you progress through the map. You get to the terminus, and by the way, each map has its own distinctive music, right? And like the way the music works is that you hear the instrumental version of the song like as the battle music as you're progressing through the map, and when you get to the boss, then the full version of the song with the lyrics comes in.
That's
so
hype.
It's just like it's so well done, right? Like, it's hype, but like, remember I told you all these songs are like ultra gross, so it's like kind of funny, but also it's weird because it's like funny because it's gross, but you're just kind of also in awe because the song is so good. Right. And all that's happening while you fight the boss, right? But when you finish a route on the map, right, like you go from like the alley to the sewer to the cave or whatever, right? You finish a route, then that's considered, I think, finishing a run, right? And then your cats go back home. And so here's the twist, right? The party you sent to clear the cats, to clear the map, when they come back from a run, they're done. You can never use those cats again, right? So cats are very much an expendable resource in this game, right? Where they want you constantly breeding those cats to unlock new cats to send on an adventure, right? So you have basically one shot with a cat, right? To use them in a run, and then you never play as them again, which is kind of weird, right? But like it makes sense in like a roguelike.
Can you still use
nature.
them for breeding?
You can still use them for breeding, right? So if you have a really good cat, or maybe your cat gained like a useful mutation or something over the course of a run, you can try and pass that on to the offspring or whatever. I'm not going to get into too many spoilers, but I will say there are spoilers for this game. Hilariously enough,
like this. Yeah, I believe you.
There is a mechanic that is introduced later on that introduces a use for your retired cats. Like a defense mechanic. That's all I'll say, right? So don't, like, obviously the game encourages you to get rid of cats, but don't get rid of your very best ones because you might find a use for them. And that's the other thing too, right? Like, there's so many NPCs that you talk to, and they take different kinds of cats. Like, one takes cats that have been injured, one takes only dead cats, one takes cats with mutations, right? And if you give them enough of these kinds of cats, they give you things, right? Like either a quest or like a unlock a new item to buy in the shop or something like that, right? So there's this constant churn of cats is very much like a part of the game. And dude, what's really funny is, like the cats, obviously, like, and another mechanic is the house where you have the cats, right? Like you can decorate it to like increase its appeal, which increases the quality of stray cats that show up to your house that you can then incorporate into your cat family. You can decorate it to increase the quality of newborn cats, right? So you can really configure this house to optimize for whatever strategy you're going for, right? Like if you want to improve your newborn cats, or if you want to optimize for like stray cat, or if you want to optimize for breeding, right? Like if you increase the comfort level of your house, that increases the rate of breeding, right? So every time you go to sleep, you have to have enough food to feed the cats. And then like if your comfort level is high enough, some of your cats will breed. But it's never a guarantee, right? You can never control who breeds with who.
Oh, interesting.
Sometimes, like 2 cats will breed. And they'll produce a kitten. Maybe they'll produce 2 kittens, right? Twins. That's happened to me before. Sometimes a cat will try to breed with another cat, and the other cat's not having it, and get rejected, and nothing happens. Sometimes 2 cats get into a fight, and as a result of that fight, nothing could happen. One cat could injure another cat and then get a stat boost up, like the winner would get a stat boost up. Or a cat could straight up just kill another cat, and then you have a dead cat, and you just have to toss it.
What a strange game.
It's such a strange game, dude, but I love it, man. It perfectly combines the cuteness of cats with a real grody grossness you don't see a lot of games that adds to its humor, right? Like that humor, cuteness, and deep strategy on multiple levels, like the breeding of the cats and the actual tactics gameplay. It's just such an addicting game, man. Like it's a game where you sit down to play it and then hours and hours have passed and you have no idea.
I may have to give it a chance once we're out of the Resident Evil event horizon. I may have to sit down and give it a shot.
Yeah, that is the one thing that'll pull me away is when 9 finally comes out. I will step away from Mewgenics, but there's so much stuff I still want to do. I literally just unlocked another new class, and I want to give that a whirl as well. And like I said, right, I've spent 33 hours in this game, and I have a 22% game completion. So I'm sure there's a lot more stuff for me to see. And I'm still I still haven't explored all the maps yet either, right? Like I don't know how many of those there are. Yeah. It's just packed with stuff to do, and its gameplay is hyper addicting, and the presentation is just really good. Really good music, really funny. It's a great game, man. It's I mean, we're still early, but this is the best game I've played this year by far so far. And it's PC exclusive, which is interesting.
I was wondering. So I this has been something I've wanted to bring up on the show, and we might do a talk with when Mike is on. I don't think of a game only being on PC as an exclusive. Like that.
I mean, it is by definition.
It is, right? But PC is just the default in my head. Of course it's on PC. It's not on. Nobody paid for it to only be on PC. It just hasn't been ported to consoles yet. So it's not.
Right.
It's not an exclusive on PC. Just does not have the same stigma to me that a console exclusive has. It's not. It's not only on PC because it's being held here. It's only on PC because it. Like this game will come to Switch 2, right? There's not a doubt in my mind Mewgenics will be on Switch 2 eventually.
And that's the other brilliant thing about Mewgenics that I really appreciate about it. I can play it with only a mouse. There's no keyboard required whatsoever, and that's wonderful. That's how I like my PC games.
Does it not have controller support at all?
I don't know, but it's just very intuitive to do everything with a mouse. So I appreciate that a lot. Right?
No, that's stancing up in your strategy game, like this.
Yeah, right. But that's just the kind of when I play PC games, I like strategy games, right? Like Civilization, I play with only a mouse.
Right.
And Mewgenics, right? So that's exactly, it fits in my wheelhouse because I don't feel too comfortable using a keyboard to control things.
Yeah, right. It takes some getting used to. I actually haven't played. This is crazy, but I have not sat down at my desk and played a game since December, I don't think. I have been exclusively couch gaming.
It's so funny. It is so funny how things work out. I think I played more on my PC this year between this and Power World than console, straight up.
It's been 100% PC. I've barely touched my Switch.
No, at my desk
I know, I'm just...
Which is not something I like doing.
No.
But I'm doing it, yeah.
I also typically prefer the comfy couch gaming. It's just there are certain games that are keyboard and mouse games to me. Mewgenics would be.
Yeah. Mewgenics is so good. Like, if you like tactics games, you definitely have to give it a shot. If you like the Binding of Isaac, give it a shot. If you like cats, you should give it a shot.
Dude, Mewgenics is like the perfect use case for the Steam controller. Like, on your couch, controlling it with the trackpad.
Yeah.
It's prime.
No, I mean, there's a lot of like, not a lot, but there is like a decent amount of dragging and dropping when you're like picking up cats, right? So like that, it's just easier with a mouse.
Well, no, it's a like Steam controller. It'll it is a mouse,
right? Or a trackpad.
Yeah, or a trackpad. Yeah, it would. I would just really like it. I'm excited.
Yeah,
for
that's Mewgenics. I'm not done with it yet. I'm gonna play a lot more of it, so I'll probably be hearing about it more later.
Not next week. Next week is gonna be me and Mike. And I am not going to talk about Arch-Tempered Archveld this week for that reason. I'm going to spare you all Monster Hunter today so that I can
that's probably a good idea.
Inundate you with it next week.
Full episode of Monster Hunter coming up because I will be out next week.
Yeah, we're probably going to predict Master Rank next week.
But I think that'll do it for us this week. Thank you all for listening. You can follow us at Podcast Game Talk on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can click the link in the description of the show to join our Discord and talk to us there. And please like, rate, and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other podcast services you use. Thanks, Connor.
Yeah. See me next week.